Welcome to economics class. Today we are going to have an introduction to economics. You might be wondering what economics is. By definition, economics is the study of how money, industry, and trade are organized to satisfy people's wants and needs. Here's another way to think about it. Economics is the study of people and the financial choices they make, and what that looks like when you zoom out to the global level. The next logical question you might be asking yourself is, how does economics affect me, and why should I study it? Each day, students make economic decisions, like getting a job or buying things like food and new clothes. You also have to make really big financial decisions, like buying a car and choosing a college to attend. Learning about economics will help you make decisions that make the best use of your time, money, and other resources. Let's take a deeper look at the question, what is economics? Economics is about human behavior. It is the study of how people use scarce resources to meet their needs and their wants. Resources like time, money, and land are scarce because most people want more than they have. Items such as diamonds, oil, and $100 bills are valuable because there are few of them. In other words, they are scarce. In economics, a need is required for survival, while a want is a product or service that is desired but not necessarily needed to survive. For example, everyone needs clothing, but some people want more expensive designer clothing. Economics is about producing, consuming, buying, selling, investing, and many other activities that affect our lives. Simply look at today's newspaper headlines and you'll see that economic concerns are important to people. When you hear or read about the nation's economy, it means the sum of everything we produce and consume in our country. Think of this term as similar to the term the family. In a family, two people may contribute to the family's income of $40,000 per year. Likewise, in the United States, every person's income contributes to the economy, which was approximately $17 trillion a year in 2014. Now we'll examine the question, how do people make economic decisions? Economists assume that people are rational and have different preferences. They also assume that people will always want to maximize something, like profits or satisfaction, to make the most of their scarce resources. Studying economics will help you learn to make decisions that best use your resources while satisfying your needs and your wants. How do you try to make the most of your decisions? Here's an example. Maybe you are making the most of your chances of getting into college. To do so, you are willing to give up some of your time, which can be considered a scarce resource. You spend extra time studying after school instead of playing basketball with your friends. On your preference list, getting into college ranks higher than playing basketball. As a result, you have made a choice to use your spare time to make the most of your chances of getting into college. Let's take a look at another example of how economics affects our decisions. Buying a house is one of the biggest economic decisions most people make. Did you know that if you borrow $110,000 to buy a house and repay the loan over 30 years, you could end up paying over $310,000 for the house? This total includes the $110,000 you borrowed, plus about $200,000 in interest to the bank. Interest is a fee charged over a period of time for borrowing money. Interest really adds up. If you pay off the loan in 15 years instead of 30, you'll pay $200,000 instead of $310,000. Most people think that voting is a political decision, but it can also be an economic one. Would you vote for the politician who wants to raise taxes to pay for new highways and schools, or the politician who wants to lower taxes but limit funds for new highways and schools? Should we support free trade among Mexico, Canada, and the United States in order to have cheaper goods and services? Or should we limit the trade with our neighboring countries to protect our own businesses and jobs? Many of the political decisions that individuals make will affect the economic future of our communities, nation, and the world. Individuals are not the only ones who make economic decisions. The government and private businesses make many important economic decisions too. Understanding economics helps them make the best decisions for the greatest number of people. For example, executives at General Motors have to decide what types of vehicles to produce, as well as how many. Should they use the company's factories and other resources to produce sports utility vehicles or compact cars? This type of decision will be based on what people want, as well as the company's resources. Likewise, government officials make important decisions about the money supply, taxes, interest rates, and many other factors that affect the economy. In order to make the best decisions about the economy, business executives and government officials need to be informed. Economics exists because people want different things and they have different financial circumstances. There must be a system in place to balance people's wants and needs with their resources. If we did not have any needs and wants to satisfy, there would be no economic problems and no need for this course. But no society has ever been able to satisfy the needs and wants of every individual. There just never seems to be enough to go around.